Hey everybody, Sean Holman and Jason Gonderman here from the Truck Trend Network, and we're at the Automobile Museum of Driving?
Automobile Driving Museum.
I was getting that wrong. Automobile Driving Museum here in El Segundo, California with our friends from Ram Commercial, who brought up their whole entire lineup of work trucks and vans for us to check out. So we thought we'd give you a little tour here. So we've got a Ram 4500 chassis cab. We've got a Ram ProMaster City. And then we've got the big ProMaster behind us here. So you want to start with the little one?
Let's start with the tiny one.
All right. Looks pretty good in red.
It's all shined up.
So this here is the Ram ProMaster City, which is a lot of best-in-class claims for the Class 1 little van market. This is powered by the 2.4 liter Tiger Shark straight 4, and it has 1,800 pounds of payload capacity.
Just greater than 1,800 pounds.
So this van is based on the Fiat Doblo, which is a very popular commercial van in Europe. And they don't have really pickup trucks there, so the vans are the pickup trucks. So there's a lot that's gone into the structure of this van in terms of strength, and that's why the payload's so high. It's also kind of cool because it's front-wheel drive, but it's also independent rear suspension, so it handles really well. And if you come around to the back, we'll check out the cargo area. So this version has the upfit kit where it has 2 sliding doors. It also has this metal partition, tie downs in the floor, and of course there's a million ways you can upfit this with racks and all sorts of different things. There's storage holes and cubbies everywhere. But it's just a cool little van. One of the things you'll notice is unique to the ProMaster City is the 60/40 rear door split. And as Jason's showing you now, the larger door is away from the curbside, so that gets the door out of your way in order to load it up and get packages. It's also 48 inches between the wheel wells, so you can fit a pallet in the back. And then both doors actually open all the way out to facilitate getting in and out. So more than 1,800 pounds of payload, independent suspension, great fuel economy for those fleet guys from a 4-cylinder engine perspective.
It's 29 miles per gallon highway rated, and in our testing we've gotten 28, so it's
pretty accurate.
This
also has a 9-speed.
9-speed automatic.
9-speed automatic with a super low first and second gear, which allow for the van to fully loaded at gross vehicle weight rating, allows them to get off the line quickly. And another thing that Ram does with these is they actually test in a Los Angeles style stop and go traffic requirement for braking, as well as tests on hills in a San Francisco-like environment, which is pretty cool.
And the base model of this, the Fiat Doblo, has been in production for 15 years. Over in Europe, they've sold millions of them, and the reliability is second to none.
Yeah, this is a 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty for anybody who's looking for a small delivery van. So pretty cool. All right, we'll head over to the big ProMaster, the non-city. Alright, so now we got the big boy. This is the ProMaster non-city, so it's the big one. This is based on the Fiat Ducato, which is their large van in Europe.
On sale in Europe for over 20 years.
And as you can tell, plenty of room. This differs from the ProMaster City in the fact that this has rear leaf springs, and it's actually front-wheel drive. So this is made for all about hauling cargo. Obviously, massive back here, able to stand up, pretty cool.
This is a long wheelbase with the high roof, so it's the largest configuration of ProMaster van that you can buy.
And in fact, this van has more payload capacity than most half-ton pickup trucks.
All half-ton pickup trucks.
And heavy duties, for that matter. It's 40...
Over 4,000 pounds of payload capacity.
That's pretty impressive. So you're talking about 2 tons of cargo you can put back here. Obviously, it'll fit many pallets. And being a front-wheel drive, it's very robust drivetrain to haul around all the loads and everything, and has a really advanced traction control system, which you'll need if the van's weighted up and you're on a slick uphill incline or something like that. But the front-wheel drive system, because there is no rear axle, if you look at the front of the van here, you can see that the platform for where the drivetrain and everything is actually higher than the load floor. Not having to have a rear axle and rear drivetrain allows the load floor on this van to be incredibly low. So it has the lowest, I believe,
best in class load height. 6 inches lower than the nearest competitor. And
you can only do that because this one's front wheel drive. Again, there's a couple of different engines available, including a diesel.
Yeah, there's a 4-cylinder. There's a 4-cylinder 3-liter EcoDiesel that's available in this van, and it's made into an automated manual transmission. A little weird to drive, but great efficiency. And it's also equipped with the 3.6-liter Pentastar engine as well.
So plenty of get up and go, regardless of if you're hauling or empty. But this also gets really good fuel economy. And there's a lot of nice little touches back here. Different things, obviously tie downs, handholds. You've got the PowerPoint for different tools and things like that.
And we do believe, without actually getting out a tape measure, that you could fit a ProMaster City inside the back of this ProMaster.
We think
you
can go like Knight Rider style, yep, where the doors are opened up, the ramp comes down, you just drive it straight. You might bend the doors here a little bit, but it's a beast, and it's definitely one of the vans to look at if you have a small business or looking for a large size delivery van. You also see these. The post office has quite a few of these. We've seen some FedEx vans where they're using these. And what's interesting too is if you want to come around to the front, a lot of people talk about how goofy the styling is on it, but it's one of those situations where form and function. Form takes a backseat to function. And what you can see here is these big fender flares. Well, that's because people like to run into things like poles and stuff they can't see. And also you'll notice this big bumper up here, and the headlights are tall. The reason for that is if you do hit something, or a pole, or a tree, or a parked car, or whatever it is, you're not going to damage any sheet metal or any of the lights. So that's kind of why the ProMaster kind of looks a little bit different and goofy. That's because, again, it's all about function before form, and this is to make sure that it has as low cost as possible when it comes to maintenance and upkeep and things like that, especially when you have inexperienced drivers who are taking your small business vans out and running into things. So that's one of the cool things about the ProMaster. So the other truck we're with today is our personal favorite. Obviously, we're truck guys, and it's the Ram 4500 chassis cab. This is a long bed or long wheelbase crew cab. This thing's a beast. Come check it out. So this is the long wheelbase version. Obviously, this particular model has a bed upfit on it, which is, there's a million different ways you can upfit these: dump beds and flat beds and utility beds and racks and all that. But the base truck here, I believe this one starts at...
As equipped is $54,000 for the truck. The bed upfit is another $12,000 on top of that. As it sits here, we're looking at about $64,000.
So $64,000 truck. It's actually got a pretty nice interior in it for work truck grade. This is a Cummins truck, so it's a 6.7 liter. We're in California, so it has the clean idle certification. For those of you who might have wondered what was on the badge here. The diesel on the work trucks have a 15,000 mile service interval, and the gas trucks are 10,000 mile service interval. So again, it just goes toward making your cost of ownership as low as possible. This here has the 19.5 inch wheels, 10 lugs. I mean, I personally would go for the Alcoas though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, aluminum Alcoas are beautiful, but there's nothing wrong with the Steelies that we have here. Those are gorgeous as well. This truck also has the Eisen 6-speed automatic transmission. In 4500 trim, it has dual PTOs on the left and the right side of the transmission. So
it's pretty unique for this market.
It is, so you can run either two PTO items or what's more convenient to where your setup is, left or right side.
And of course, this has the cool Ram folding tow mirrors, so Tow mirrors up, tow mirrors down. The nice thing about these is it doesn't look like you have tow mirrors all the time. You flip them up when you need it, so your visibility and overall width is stays, you know, reasonable in visibility, all that. It's just a really clean, really nice design. This particular truck also, if you look, when Ram builds their chassis cab models, the DEF is attached to the frame, but below frame height, so it's out of the way. The DEF tank is actually housed on the frame rail. Again, gets it out of the way and makes it so the upfitter only has to worry about bolting the bed to a standard bolt pattern, rather than having to worry about moving the fuel filler neck or moving the DEF tank neck or any of those other things that get in the way. All the chassis pigtail harnesses, everything you need is provided on here. This particular bed is kind of a nicer version. It allows you to have the fuel tank up through the bed body, but if you have a flatbed or some other things that don't, this is out of the way on the Rams. If you haven't seen it, go back in our videos, and in June, Jason and I took a Ram 5500 dump truck around the Chelsea Proving Grounds behind a Hellcat and had a bunch of fun laughing and calling that work for the day. So if you want to see how these things handle it, that was actually pretty cool. So be sure to check that out. But this is one hell of a man's truck right here.
It really is. This thing is a beast. Do we have any questions before we put a wrap on this for today? Anybody want to know anything?
Yeah, if you guys have any questions at all about the ProMaster City, the ProMaster van, or the Ram 4500 or 5500 chassis cab, just feel free to post on our Facebook page, and we'll be answering any questions throughout the day. So once again, this is Sean Holman and Jason Gotterman for the Truck Trend Network. We're out here in El Segundo with Ram Commercial, checking out some of their vehicles.